Hello everyone, this is part 56 of What If Naruto Meets the Nine Tails Early, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Last time on the Uzumaki Tales, after 2.5 years away from Konoha, Uzumaki Naruto has returned from his apprenticeship underneath the Sannin Jiraiya stronger than ever and with the fully unleashed power of a Biju behind him. Naruto was quickly welcomed back with the open arms of his ever-faithful girlfriend Hyuga Hinata and all of the friends he left behind. Without Naruto in Konoha, things were most definitely quieter, but that didn't mean it was Of course, after 2 to 1 out of 2 years, things happen and a few new relationships have begun to bloom, one of which is between two of the people Naruto holds closest, Iruka-sensei and Ayami Nichin. While their relationship has met little resistance, except the expected from a protective ramen chef, another has had a most difficult time with one of Konoha's most noble clans. Regardless, the youthful love of Konoha's wild green beast burns bright for the heiress of the Kurama clan. And still another potential relationship could be in the works between Ino and a certain ice-using boy. For the first time since his departure, Naruto finally was able to spend a romantic evening, putting some of the skills he developed over the training trip to good use. At the new dancing flame, formerly the Flaming Leaf and site of their very first date, the young lovers took to the dance floor, only to have their evening interrupted by a mysterious attacker, who just so happened to be a member of the team in which they were assigned to in order to investigate the most recent Orochimaru activity. Now, onto the story. The first day of the mission was going perfect. The two teams consisting of Uzumaki Naruto, Momoiki Zabuza, Yuki Haku, and Yamato and Haruno Sakura, Hyuga Hinata, Inuzuka Kiba, and Sai had made great distance on their travels to the land of the seas. Their mission was to investigate rumors relating to one of Orochimaru's main research bases in the area. There were multiple objectives to their A-rank, potentially S-rank, mission, the rescuing of a potential Uzumaki girl being on the top of a certain Jinchuriki's list. The team's pace had slowed as they began searching for a suitable site to make camp. Today had been a good day, well, not really. What is it? The pale root agent with a creepy smile on his face. For the past 12 hours of traveling, Naruto had been staring intently at the suspicious newcomer to the group. Naruto trusted most of the members on the group. Sakura was his teammate, Kiba and Akamaru had proven that they were good friends to the blonde, both Haku and Zabuza owed Naruto a great deal for giving him a second chance in Konoha, and Hinata was his one and only love besides ramen. Yamato Teiko, although Naruto hadn't known the man for long, seemed fine and respectable. And then there was Sai. Sai had introduced himself to Naruto by attacking him while he and Hinata were on a date, and then he had the guts to insult the blonde by questioning if he had any balls at all. Yeah, Naruto was definitely glaring with AM glare that made Zabuza proud right now. Please stop staring at me. Don't make me hit you. Every damn thing you say just pisses me off more, shouted Naruto. And why the hell are you here? All you do is piss everyone off. Hey, calm down, ordered Yamato, trying to keep the peace as best as he could. Teamwork and cooperation are the most important things in a team, especially the teams that you all belong to. What's with you? It's because he's not a member of my team. He's not a part of Team Kakashi, argued Naruto. He's just some fill-in for Sasuke because Kakashi-sensei's as late as ever. And if he's just some fill-in, what does that make me? Asked Yamato, his face growing dark and a scary look appearing just inches from Naruto's face, causing Naruto to freak out. Well, what? Why our N no fill I in, stuttered Naruto. Yikes, even I'll admit that's creepy as hell, admitted Kurama. So can we resume this mission normally? Asked Yamato, getting a frantic nod from Naruto, and everyone else let out a sigh of relief. Good. Now I was hoping for something that would allow us to get to know each other a little better as a team, but sadly the resort town is still a day's journey away. After that, we'll have another day and a half before we reach the land of sea. Resort town, exclaimed a hopeful Sakura with stars in her eyes. Yes, but that's only if you behave, replied Yamato. Otherwise, we'll be spending tomorrow evening in Mokuton, 4-pillar prison. Everyone gasped in surprise, with the exception of Naruto, who was already aware Yamato was a wood user, as a jutsu that had thought to have been lost resulted in a large wooden prison erupting from behind Yamato. That's Shodime-sama's secret jutsu, Mokuton, thought Sakura. Just who the hell is this guy? Mokuton, gasped Zabuza and Haku, both familiar with the legends surrounding Senju Hashirama. Kiba was also having a hard time hiding his surprise, and Hinata's pale eyes widened at the sight. Sai just remained quiet and collected, but managed by raising an eyebrow. So, can we behave ourselves? Said Yamato, using his creepy stare no jutsu. Why yes SSIR. Stammered Naruto. Good. Now we'll camp here for the night, said Yamato. Let's set up camp, and get dinner cooking. Sakura and Hinata will have first watch, Naruto and Zabuza second, Haku and Kiba third, and myself and Sai last. Later that night. Oi, Gaki, called Zabuza as Naruto hopped up into the trees and took a seat next to the former demon of the hidden mist. So tell me, how are you with that sword? Well, I trained with Mifune-sensei for 6 months and... Wait, Mifune, as in Mifune of the Infinite Blades? Asked a surprised Zabuza. Naruto nodded. A gleam now appeared in the swordsman's eyes. Oh hell, you and I are definitely having a spar after this mission is over. Is that so? If you want a fight, I'll give you one, Tobio. Exclaimed Naruto. I'm looking forward to it, replied Zabuza. The swordsman then pointed to Naruto's own blade, which was resting across the blonde's lap. So what exactly does it do? You asked me earlier and I had no idea. You must have figured something out about it by now. Well, I did. I took a look at the seals on the sword and I found it has 3 abilities. The first is the use of a highly advanced absorption seal, called the redirection seal. It can take an opponent's ninjutsu, absorb the jutsu and redirect it back at him, said Naruto as he explained the first ability. That is something. The last I heard about that sword was from when it was wielded by Uzumaki Shuichi, and if I remember correctly, it took an army to bring him down. Any relation? Asked Zabuza. Great-great-grandfather, replied Naruto. Of course, this only made Zabuza more intrigued. Normally, a ninja wouldn't share information on themselves with another like this, but Zabuza was his comrade and Naruto's negative emotion sensing wasn't throwing up any red flags. Zabuza was simply curious for curiosity's sake. Also, as a comrade, it was important that they knew everyone else's abilities. So what are the other abilities? Asked Zabuza. Well, the second ability goes along with the redirection seals. Since the seals can only redirect the most recent ninjutsu they've absorbed, then if a jutsu isn't used, then it would just go to waste. Well, my sword's second ability fixes that. If a jutsu isn't redirected, the sword just converts the jutsu to chakra and stores it. That chakra can then be unleashed in a massive area of effect attack, depending on how much chakra it has stored since the last use. Flashback. Naruto was currently out on his training field, taking a break from trying to develop his Rasengan further. Jiraiya had also decided to take a break from writing, although he had a few shadow clones positioned around the beach to keep up the flow of inspiration. He was standing opposite Naruto, preparing to spar with his student, as Naruto drew his sword. Mifune-sensei mentioned that there was a secondary ability that could deal with absorbing multiple jutsus, so just keep them coming, Ero-senin, called out Naruto. Jiraiya nodded and began. Kaiten, Flame Bullet. Jiraiya's first fire jutsu collided with Naruto's sword and was quickly absorbed by the blade. Doton, Earth Dragon Bullet. The second jutsu collided with the sword and was also absorbed. Considering that Arashi had already absorbed the Flame Bullet, Naruto wasn't quite sure what to expect. Once that happened, nothing else happened except the jutsu being absorbed. Wanting to know what exactly would happen, Naruto unleashed the Earth Dragon Bullet back towards Jiraiya, who simply blocked it with a Doton, Mud Wall. Naruto then tried to unleash the Flame Bullet, but nothing happened. So that seal can only hold one jutsu, commented Jiraiya. Yeah. Wait, Naruto said as he noticed the Uzumaki emblem that made up the hilt of the sword letting off a faint blue glow. All of the sudden, Naruto thought he heard some sort of instruction in his mind, telling him what to do about that glowing emblem. Hey Kurama, did you just hear that? Asked the blonde. Yeah, I heard it. I don't know where it came from, but if there's someone else in here, please do speak up. It gets kind of lonely in here sometimes. Wait, Didn't this happen before when you were asked the name of your sword? You're right. Could it be Arashi that's talking? But how? Sentience, spoke Kurama. Ha, asked Naruto. If my suspicion is correct, that sword is sentient, meaning it has its own consciousness. It's telling you about itself. It's trying to make you a worthy wielder. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. Naruto turned to Jiraiya. Okay Ero Sennin, I know what to do I think. Hit me with a few more jutsus, I want to try something. Jiraiya just nodded, jumped back, and sent a few more jutsus at Naruto, who absorbed them all with his sword and the emblem began to glow brighter. That good enough? Called out Jiraiya. I think so, here we go. Exclaimed Naruto as he held his sword vertically in front of him in one hand and placed the other hand on the emblem. Arashi. The results were immediate and Naruto's eyes lit up like a kid, or Akamiki, in an all-you-can-eat desert buffet. Chakra erupted from the emblem, spiraling out like a powerful hurricane. The chakra cloud expanded, taking up a good area of the training ground until it reached the first thing in its path, Jiraiya. Jiraiya was hit hard with the chakra cloud and thrown back into the trees surrounding the training field. The chakra cloud continued to expand outwards for a few more meters until it reached its limit and dissipated. Ero Sennin, shouted Naruto as he rushed over to see if his master was okay. Luckily, Jiraiya was momentarily alive, but he had a massive G across his C from where he had been hit that was B heavily. Thankfully, the town healer was an ex-medical ninja and was able to stabilize Jiraiya before the Toad Sage bled to death. This would be another part of the trip they wouldn't be telling sooned. End flashback. Zabuza just whistled. Damn, that's a pretty nasty attack. Yeah. Ero Sennin said it was the second time he almost said Naruto solemnly. I didn't mean to. I never thought it would be that powerful. I'm just glad he lived to perv another day. So when was the first time he almost asked Jiraiya. When Tsunade Barkan caught him peeping on her. Zabuza just burst out in laughter, having become aware of Konoha's self-proclaimed super pervert. Okay, so what's the last ability? Asked Zabuza. That one, it's not something I'm hoping to use anytime soon. It's more of a last resort and it's a rather costly ability, said Naruto. It's not something I can use in a spar or against a comrade. It was designed for enemies, and I'll use it, but only if I desperately need to. The following morning, it was time to wake up and Naruto was currently in a deep slumber, resisting the sun's attempts to wake him. Just a few minutes, Naruto. This pillow, so soft. Naruto was still asleep when he proceeded to rub his face in his soft pillow. Hinata began to wake as soon as she felt something rub against her own C. The moment she realized what exactly was rubbing against her, she went a bright red, brighter than any shade of red she had ever reached before. Eek! Shrieked Hinata, waking the rest of the camp, including the person who was rubbing his face into her B. Naruto shot up. Hinata-chan, what's WRO? Naruto looked up to see what was wrong with Hinata, but realized she was much closer to him than they originally had begun the night. It was then that he discovered just what exactly his pillow was. Oh my god, I'm so sorry Hinata-chan, I didn't mean to. Both Naruto and Hinata just froze at that moment. Hinata-chan's. So how was your night kit? Asked Kurama before he broke out in perverted laughter. Make any kits yet? It wasn't like that. Ero Kitsune. Retorted Naruto before he turned beet red. So, soft. NN Naruto-kun, eep. Thought Hinata. She wasn't quite sure how to make of it. Most women would feel violated for a man doing such a thing to them, but this was Naruto. Over the years, Hinata had matured and so did some of her thoughts revolving around the blonde who she called her boyfriend. Doing anything else with Naruto was still most likely a few years off, but she couldn't deny that she wasn't beginning to think of Naruto in a more intimate way. Later that evening, the teams had arrived at the resort village along the southern border of the Land of Fire and the Land of Tea. Currently, everyone was in the middle of taking a relaxing soak in the hot springs. For guys, being together really makes us feel like companions. Cheered Yamato as he let out a relaxed breath before looking at Naruto and using his creepy stare no jutsu. Don't you agree? Why yeah, of course. Stuttered Naruto. His eyes are really terrifying. Naruto stood up out of the water, exposing himself to. Well, looks like you really do have some balls, smiled Sai. On the other side of the divider, Sakura had already begun soaking herself in the relaxing mineral water, resting her back up against the edge of the pool. The door between the changing room and the hot spring opened up with a towel-wrapped Hinata stepping out. Taking a quick glance at the Hyuga beauty, Sakura couldn't help but feel a little envious of her. Despite only being 15 years in age, Hinata's figure and B was something that many women there couldn't help but admire. Hinata's B were easily Ds, if not DDs. Looking down at her own C, Sakura sighed. I can't believe I'm actually jealous of Hinata, her C that is. While Sakura wasn't as busty as Hinata or even Ino, her own body had developed into something more than where she was years ago. Her figure wasn't as P as it used to be, and she was also beginning to develop some more feminine curves. And while her B were currently Bs, she couldn't help but wish that her figure was more resembling of the ones that her friends, Hinata and Ino, and Master had been blessed with. Still, she was only 15 as well, and was hopeful that she still had some time left to develop and mature. Hinata sat down next to Sakura and let out a held breath as she submerged herself in the spring. This spring is so relaxing, commented Hinata. It is. I wonder what sort of minerals they put in the water. My skin's loving every second of it, replied Sakura as her previous thoughts left her momentarily. Both girls enjoyed their bath until some loudmouth shouting rose up from the other side of the divider. What the hell? Why are you always going balls this, balls that? It's so annoying, was heard from a voice that was familiar to two deeply embarrassed girls. All the other women in the hot spring started laughing. Damn Naruto, you're too loud. It's embarrassing, thought Sakura before taking a deep breath and disappearing beneath the surface of the water. As this was going on, the water temperature spiked. The source of the increase in temperature, Hinata. Back on the men's side. Hey there beautiful, what's a pretty thing like you doing over here? If you're looking for something, I've got just what you need, said a man with a grin on his face as he noticed a rather attractive and beautiful woman enter the men's bath. Naruto, Yamato, Kiba, and Zabuza sweat dropped at this. Sai just smiled. You know, Haku really can pass as a girl without too much difficulty, said Kiba. Yeah, you're only saying this because you hit on him the first time you saw him, thinking he was a girl, commented Naruto. Oh come on, don't lie. You must have thought Haku was a girl the first time you met him, argued Kiba. Flashback. As Naruto got up and realized that he was late, he headed off into the forest to use as a shortcut to get to the bridge. There, he encountered a beautiful young lady. Who are you? Naruto asked, trying to figure out what the lady wanted. Oh, is this the plant you are looking for? Yes, thank you, the woman said. Oh, that forehead protector. Does that mean you are a ninja? Yeah, you notice. I'm a ninja, Naruto said. And one day, I'm going to become Hokage, the strongest ninja in my village. The girl laughed. Do you have someone important to you? She asked. When a person has someone precious to them, they will truly become strong. Yeah, I understand that, Naruto said. I'm going to become strong so that I can protect my friends. The lady go up. You'll become strong, I know it. I hope we'll meet again sometime. I want to see how strong you've become, she said as she walked away. Oh, and by the way, I'm a boy. Naruto's world was shattered. That boy was almost prettier than Sakura, he thought. End flashback. Naruto dropped his head and sighed in defeat. Kiba merely laughed, knowing that he was right. You do realize I'm a boy, right? Haku asked the perverted old man, with a hint of disgust in his voice. Said man paled and even earned a few looks. Naruto was broken out of his stupor by an idea as he began sneaking over towards the barrier. On the other side of that barrier, Hinata-chan. This will be fun, giggled Kurama. Time to find out just how hot of a body that little vixen of yours has. What? That's it, I'm see you off, retorted Naruto. What? Damn. Now, what was I doing? Oh yeah, Hinata-chan's on the other side. A small trail of B tried to drip down Naruto's nose, but his time with Jiraiya had allowed Naruto to learn to hide the telltale signs of an amateur pervert. Okay, I'm done for now. But Naruto-kun, I hope Jiraiya-sama told you about when he was younger and came very close to S once, 6 broken ribs, both arms broken, and many ruptured internal organs. The cause? Tsunade-sama's superhuman strength. What he did was exactly what you're trying to do now. You'd better not be thinking about it, growled Kiba. Naruto froze. Hinata-chan would never do that if she found him peeping on her. At least he liked to think she wouldn't. But Hinata wasn't the only girl on the other side of the fence. Now Sakura on the other hand, oh yeah, Naruto would be far beyond the point that Kurama could heal. A great meal later, and it was time for them to turn in for the night. Hinata gave Naruto a quick goodnight before heading to one of their rooms with Naruto following her inside. Oh no you don't. This is the girls' room and there's no way you're sleeping in here, especially after what happened this morning. A pouting Naruto found himself dragged out of the room by Sakura. Sakura awoke and let out a big yawn. Last night had been just what everyone needed to relax, and even Naruto seemed to calm down around Sai. Okay, maybe not that much. Sakura, still with a frizzy bed head, turned to look out her window, only to see Sai sitting on the edge of some wall overlooking the river that flowed through the resort town. Hey, drawing a picture I see? Asked Sakura, peering over Sai's shoulder. Sai was currently sitting on the wall with a sketchbook. You're really vulgar, but you seem to have a nice side too, right? Asked Sakura, trying to put on a friendly smile. That's actually a really nice picture. It's an abstract, right? What's it called? Called? Asked Sai, genuinely confused. You haven't decided on a name yet? Asked Sakura. No, that's not it, said Sai. I've drawn hundreds of pictures, but none of them have names. Really? But don't portraits have the person's name or other pictures have the situation at the time? Asked Sakura. Whenever Tucson paints, the first thing he always does is give the picture a name depending on what he's feeling at the time, Hinata explained as the rest of the group reconvened at the place where Sai was sitting. Naruto peered over at Sai's picture. HMPH. That picture's nothing special. That's right, admitted Sai. Just like your. What? Okay, prepare to get your kicked, shouted Naruto. Sai merely smiled and Hinata went bright red, again. If you've got something to say to me, stop with that fake smile and tell me to my face. That's not it at all. I really don't think anything of you, said Sai. Huh? Asked Naruto and Sakura. It's nothing. Please go ahead. I'll be right there, spoke Sai. Let's get ready everyone, announced Yamato. We've got a day and a half still until we reach the land of sea. From there, we'll do an initial recon and come up with a plan for infiltration. Orochimaru-sama, such an honor to have you, spoke a man with gray hair and a rather large head who wore a white lab coat. Now if you don't mind me asking, what brings you to my humble abode? Amaki, I've come across something intriguing in my own bloodline research and I've come to see if you have anything of which can be of use to me, Kukaku, grinned Orochimaru. I've also come to collect a few certain prisoners I loaned you to aid in your investigations. Certainly Orochimaru-sama, right this way, spoke Amaki as he guided Orochimaru towards his labs. Orochimaru is sure to love my work. A large door into Amaki's main laboratory opened, revealing the scientist's prized experiments. Behold, the Kaimer, announced Amaki. Inside the room were numerous tanks around with suspended humanoid figures inside. A few of them, with their eyes opened, turned towards their creator and his guests, letting out a lowly hiss. It was late in the afternoon when the teams from Konoha arrived at the fishing village on the edge of the mainland of the land of sea. Greetings, Konoha shinobi, welcomed one of the village heads. I thank you for responding to our request with haste, but I don't remember asking for so much. Is this really what I get for a simple investigative C-rank mission? It sounded as if the elder had done business with shinobi villages before and was surprised at the turnout from his mission. I am Yamato, captain of the team, Yamato said, stepping forward to introduce the team. Under normal circumstances, no, you would not be sent teams of this caliber for a C-rank mission. However, we have received information on the possibility that an S-rank missing ninja named Orochimaru may be involved in the disappearances of your men. As such, this mission was upgraded to an A-rank, minimum. Don't worry though, you and your village are only being charged for the C-rank investigative mission as the parts that make this an A-rank deal directly with our own village's security. So you're saying that these sea monsters we've been seeing lately are a result of some ninja's work? Asked the elder. Sea monsters. You never mentioned that in the report you sent Konoha, replied Yamato. That's only because they just started appearing a few nights ago. We sent an updated request to Konoha, but it appears as if you arrived before getting word, explained the elder. We added the need for a B rank mission to address this sea monster problem. I see, replied Yamato. This is starting to sound crazy. Are there really such things as sea monsters? Asked Kiba. While normally I would agree, remember this is Orochimaru we are dealing with, replied Yamato. I would be prepared for just about anything if I were you. Yeah, those cursed seal freaks Sakura-chan and I fought were pretty close to monsters, added Naruto. Yamato said to the elder, realizing he never got a name. My apologies. My name is Takarama Yashiru, said the elder. Takarama-san, perhaps we could go inside your office and you can fill us in on everything, asked Yamato before the teams were led inside the main administrative building of the village. Over the past couple years, we've had cases of fishermen going missing, which, troubling it may be, was a rarity and only during storms. We figured that they were lost as a result of those storms. However, just recently the disappearances became more frequent and our men were turning up missing on the brightest of days. There are many in this village who believe that those men were spirited away by some angry ocean spirit, but with the claim of this missing ninja coming forth from your village, I'm beginning to suspect something more. Orochimaru is known to our village as a traitor and someone who has passed well beyond the boundaries of any morals and ethical guidelines I can think of. 3 of the members on this team have first-hand experience dealing with some of Orochimaru's soldiers and they can attest that they were rather monstrous, the result of a cursed seal, explained Yamato. A cursed seal you say? Asked Takarama. Yes. When used, the user's appearance would be altered into something that would be considered demonic to most. Regarding your sea monsters, I suspect that this may be the case. Or another of Orochimaru's experiments, explained Yamato. I see, said Takarama, scratching his chin. So is there anything else you can tell me about these sea monsters? Asked Yamato. People have been reporting sightings of at least one a night, but have been too afraid to venture outside, explained Takarama. It was about a week ago that they first appeared and carried away a girl. And do you know where these monsters are coming from or where these disappearances are occurring? Asked Yamato. The monsters just appear from the ocean, and they seem to return to the ocean. However, folks have been extremely cautious around Demon Island. If memory serves, that's where most of the recent disappearances happened around, explained Takarama. I see, replied Yamato. I thank you. That'll be all for now. If my suspicions are correct, sounds like we're going for a little hunt later tonight, grinned Kurama with an anticipating smile. The teams checked into a local inn before gathering together in one room. Right, I think our best option is to investigate into these sea monsters, said Yamato, starting off the meeting. I take it we're going fishing tonight, spoke Zabuza. Precisely. It's best to find out just what exactly we're going to be dealing with before proceeding to infiltrate this base. Hey, looks like we're getting to work already, Akamaru, grinned Kiba. Kiba, Hinata, and Sai will be on reconnaissance duty. You'll be on the lookout for one of our monsters. Zabuza and Haku will be our chase team. You two will be responsible for guiding our sea monster into the trap, which Naruto and I will have ready, addressed Yamato. Sakura, being the medical expert on the team, your job will come after we have successfully captured our target. Hi! Exclaimed everyone. You smell that, Akamaru? Akamaru barked in response, having also picked up the smell of something fishy. Kiba-kun, there's something about 100 meters to the right of you, Hinata called over the wireless radio. Akamaru and I just picked him up, called out Kiba over the radio. We'll send him towards your location, Haku. Kiba and Akamaru darted through the streets of the village until they stopped at the location of the fishy smell. Surely enough, there was something in the alley from which the smell came from, and that something wasn't quite human. Well, what do ya know? It really is a sea monster, said Kiba, taking a good look at the thing in front of him. The thing looked like a mixture between a man and a fish, retaining a humanoid figure, but covered in bluish scales with what appeared to be fins sticking out of its arms, legs, torso, and head. The sea creature just growled at Kiba and Akamaru before shooting a jet of water from its mouth. The Inuzuka and his canine partner jumped out of the way before retaliating with a Suga. The Suga hit S-on, knocking the fish man back into a few crates. However, the attack didn't seem to do as much damage as Kiba would have liked, as the fish man just pulled himself out of the crates. Kiba and Akamaru took up positions around their target, leaving only one route of escape, towards where Haku was stationed. Kiba and Akamaru made their move, charging at the fishman and forcing him to flee, just as planned. There was a junction in the roads with 3 possible paths for the fishman to head down, but as the fishman made a go for the one path that led towards the ocean, a wall of ice sprang up, blocking that way and another of the paths. This forced them down the one path that led towards the trap Naruto and Yamato had set. Looking up, Kiba sent Haku a quick nod before the ice user blocked off a few more paths up ahead, further forcing the fishman towards the end point. As the fishman rounded the corner into what he thought must have been an open street, he was met with a wooden wall as the entrance to the alleyway was sealed off with a wall of ice. Fuinjutsu, area containment seal, called a voice before the entire alleyway lit up in a sealing matrix and ensnared the fishman. Wow, I didn't actually think we'd be catching a sea monster, spoke Naruto as he jumped down from the top of a building. Wooden bindings sprang up, completing the entrapment of the fishman, and Naruto released his seal, no longer necessary since Yamato had him. My god, I don't believe what I'm seeing, gasped Takarama as he was led by Sakura. They quickly moved the fishman into a building where Sakura could begin her analysis. On their way there, a few of the villagers had gathered to the delight of the capture of what has been terrorizing them for the past week. Okay, I'm going to begin, announced Sakura as a ball of bright green light emerged from her hand, her bodily examination jutsu active. The light easily sank into the body of the fishman and Sakura moved the light, processing the information the jutsu was sending her about their captive's condition. There's definitely human elements in this thing, said Sakura. But it's like they've been completely rebuilt to make them more fish-like. Sakura went to take a quick B sample, but the fishman let out a scream. Everyone watched as the fish-like features began to recede from the thing until a man was left in its place. That's, exclaimed Takamaru in utter surprise. Do you know this person? Asked Sakura. I do. His name is Sanjo. He was one of the fishermen who went missing almost a month ago, explained Takamaru. I see. So our suspicions were correct in that Orochimaru is most likely behind the disappearances, said Yamato. I can't believe a Orochi team would stoop so low into innocent villagers and turning them into freaks, Tobayo. Exclaimed Naruto. Actually, considering this is that snake bastard we're talking about, I can, replied Kurama. I'm going to do a few more tests and send the results back to Tsunade, said Sakura as she got to work. Right, now that we've located one of the missing villagers, I think we can safely assume Orochimaru is behind the abductions and the rest of them are most likely in the base, said Yamato. So when are we going to kick that slime ear of his, Yamato Teiko? Asked Naruto. Actually Naruto, we want to avoid Orochimaru at all costs. If Master Jiraiya's information is correct, Orochimaru has multiple bases, which means that he can't be at them all at the same time. Therefore, he's got to have someone at each base to take charge of the base. Our job is to capture this, Warden, explained Yamato. But if we were to go up against someone like Orochimaru, I don't even know if we would be successful. That still doesn't mean I don't want to kick that bastard's A, growled Naruto, getting a bark from Akamaru. That's right, boy, what do you think we've been doing for the past 3 years? If we see Orochimaru, then he's going to pay for his sick experiments, grinned Kiba. Regardless, we have our mission objectives. The villages, the base's warden, and the locations of Yakushi Kabuto and the Uzumaki girl are top priority, said Yamato. So when are we going to go? Asked Naruto. Tomorrow. I want Sai to take Hinata and do some reconnaissance of Demon Island from the air. We'll proceed with our assault directly after, said Yamato. Now to refresh everyone on their roles. My team, consisting of Naruto, Haku, and Zabuza are the assault team. It is likely that we're going to face some form of resistance and it's our job to eliminate this resistance. If we run into any more fishmen, you are to use non-lethal force unless absolutely necessary. It's likely that those are our villages. The other team, Sakura, Kiba, Hinata, and Sai will be in charge of locating our villages and any prisoners that are being held. Naruto, did you make up those seals? Here, Yamato Teiko, said Naruto, handing a bundle of explosive notes to Yamato. Once we've gotten the villagers and prisoners out, our final objective is to cripple the operations of this base, explained Yamato. Uzumaki explosive notes. Those things will pack enough of a punch to level the base, Tobio, declared Naruto. Didn't you blow yourself up with one of those? Asked Kiba, remembering what Tenten had told everyone after Naruto had experimented with those explosive notes. Don't remind me. Hinata, do you see anything? Yamato asked over the wireless radio. Hinata was currently airborne on the back of one of Sai's ink birds. Byakugan. Hinata activated her eyes and began to scan over the island, before coming upon a hidden door on the far side of the island. I see a door. I can see a little ways into the base as well, but it goes too far under for me to see through the island with my eyes, called out Hinata. I see. Any more entrances? Perhaps underwater? Asked Yamato. Sai flew over towards a shallow bay, encompassed by island. I see a cave underneath the water. It goes into the island a little before reaching the point where it goes too deep for me to see, described Hinata. Very well, you can come back now, ordered Yamato. As the teams crossed the sea to Demon Island, a large whirlpool erupted in the water in front of them, threatening to drag Yamato's wooden boat down beneath the waves. Just keep going, Yamato Teiko. I can take care of this, said Naruto. Hopping out of the boat, Naruto walked to the very edge of the whirlpool, doing everything to keep himself upright as the whirlpool began to suck him in. Suten, spiraling torrent. Using his own jutsu, Naruto formed a whirlpool of his own, directly overtop the original whirlpool, only spinning in opposite directions. The result was that Naruto's whirlpool cancelled out the original one and Yamato regained full control of his boat. Way to go Naruto-kun, Hinata congratulated her boyfriend. Using a whirlpool to cancel out another whirlpool by spinning it the opposite direction, that was actually pretty smart, said Zabuza, the one who was most familiar with the workings of water-style ninjutsus out of everyone present. They proceeded on towards the island, but not unnoticed. Amaki-senpai's not going to like this, said a man whose head had slightly emerged from the middle of the whirlpool. Said man was wearing a pair of small sunglasses that just barely hugged his eyes. I give you years and countless resources and this is all you give me. I'm seriously disappointed in you Amaki. I expected much more, hissed Orochimaru. But Orochimaru-sama, I did all of this in the name of science. I thought you would be impressed with my progress on the development of my kaima, said Amaki, dropping to his knees in disbelief that Orochimaru was not satisfied with his life's work. Your kaima project certainly was interesting, but if you thought I would be impressed by just that, you're mistaken. I have no use for these silly little things. I wanted bloodlines the likes of which the 5 great nations have never seen before, glared the snake Sannin. But Orochimaru-sama, begged Amaki as he reached for his master. Unless you have anything else to show me, I'll be taking what I originally loaned you and be leaving this place once and for all, said a cold Orochimaru. You see, unlike you, my bloodline research has actually yielded some amazing results. I can't let Orochimaru take those 2 away. I need the Uzumaki girl and the Hozuki boy. Without them, finding a way to incorporate their bloodlines into the next generation of my kaima brood will be ruined. Thought Amaki as he frantically searched for a way to appease Orochimaru. Despite the injuries the Snake Sannin had sustained years ago against his former teammate, Orochimaru still was far too strong to be crossed. Take me to where you keep the boy and girl. I'll leave you to your work, said Orochimaru. However, just leaving things as it was much unlike Orochimaru and he had already informed Kabuto to prepare to clean up things. Now please, Orochimaru-sama. If you would allow me to, Amaki was see off as a large explosion through the base and shook the very cavers that twisted and turned throughout the island. Is everyone ready? Asked Yamato. Once we enter, we are in enemy territory. As such, we will proceed with extreme caution. Hi. Very well. We all know our objectives. We stay together. Do not get split up, spoke Yamato before all of them were suddenly encased in a wooden box. The box began to sink beneath the earth, carrying its passengers towards one of the passages beneath them. Moments later, the wooden box opened up, revealing the teams to now be in a dimly lit corridor. They were now in the lair of the sea snake. Jutsus. Mokuton, 4-pillar prison, creates a large cage composed out of wood. Like many wood release techniques, this jutsu has the ability to suppress chakra. Rank B+ uses Yamato. Creepy stare no jutsu, a most frightening and dark face that creeps out all who gaze upon it, including the mighty Kyubi no Kitsune. This jutsu is essential in the rule by fear methodology of guiding a team. Rank SSS, sorry, not quite as powerful as Guy and Lee's ultimate genjutsu, but still pretty powerful, uses Yamato. Bodily examination jutsu, a basic medical jutsu where the user generates a green light in the palm of their hands that can be used to diagnose the current medical condition of a subject. Rank C uses Sakura, Tsunade, Shizune, just about any medical ninja. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.